welcome back everyone. Hope we're all doing well. I just wanted to show us another update for the Recoup Demon. We are fully mobilised now. We're clearing maps quickly and we can take down the Arbiter. I don't know what actually happens in this fight, but apparently we have to kill him twice, so that's what we do. And then just coming over to the gems, items in the tree. I just wanted to show this straight after the boss fight because I did used to do this just to show you that the character I'm showcasing is actually doing the bossing and I'm not switching any items around to make the build look cheaper or stronger than it is. I did used to do this in every video and I cut it out to save time, but it's back in, so I won't go over it too much just now, but feel free to pause the video, have a look, copy it, and that should be okay for you. A few things I will say is that Lightning Warp this patch has been changed. It's not a bug, it is a feature. The effect has been added to Lightning Warp where it will add a debuff to the enemy instead of targeting ball lightning. So this does make it clunky, but there is a way around it, as I went over in the last video. I'll share again here. We just need to aim in the corner of the screen where there's no monsters. Then we hold down Lightning Warp, and then after that we hold down Spell Slinger. And then after that we'll be warping, we'll be flying through the map. We do have to do this every time, even in the middle of a fight. If we stop casting and try to start again, we do need to do this little trick again because of the new feature that's been added. Like I say, it's not a bug, it is a feature. So yeah, I'll just show us a few maps of me running around. It's nothing too special, it's very similar to last league, but we are pretty much up and running now. We're, taking down the pinnacles and farming XP. I think you will see, but it only takes me about 20 minutes to get the just under half a level for level 90, so 90 to 91. It's probably about 30-40 minutes of playtime with this build, so it's very good for clearing, getting XP. Obviously that comes with getting a lot of loot as well. And I have actually intentionally not spent divines on this character. You can tell the gear is really bad. I've really tried not to invest so much into this so that I can show this showcase now with gear that most people are probably going to put together if they just want to throw a div or two at the build and see how it works. Then this is what you can actually expect to have, and if you want to start investing 5, 10, 20, 50 div, the results that you see are just going to climb exponentially. So I do still have my character from standard. I can show us a little quick demonstration on that, so you know where the build can go, because obviously I'm not there yet in the league, but I think it's a very good progression starting with the Essence Drain Contagion. If you're not a big fan of that, I can suggest Bone Cage with Detonate Dead and Bone Shrapnel. I think that's really good for the campaign. Once we get out of the campaign into maps, I actually stuck with the campaign build until tier 15 maps, so I did not try to swap into Sacrosanctum until after. This was because I was just trying to be more efficient and be a bit quicker. If you find you have the divines, you have the time to spare, then you can change at any level. The minimum I'd recommend is about 80, just so you have enough skill points to get all the recoup and shield on the tree. But once we get to that level, we can swap over, so long as we have all the pieces, and I'll have all the important ones linked in the description. So I'd like to quickly run us through just a few of the trade filters, just so you know what kind of things we're looking for. So this is going to be the dueling wand, and basically this is going to be like this on every item. So we're not looking for mana, because the way Infernal Flame works, the more mana we have, the longer it takes to damage ourselves and we get less recovery. The reason we have not to level of spells is because this means that we can use an essence of sorcery, or a perfect one, and that'll guarantee a +3 to all level, but it'll remove one mod. So we might have to do it a few times. If you just buy a few of these ones that have good stats that you like the look of, you're going to randomly get rid of one, and then the essence is going to add a +3. So I'll also just show you a few more items like the focus. So again, we're not looking for mana. We need the 2 levels, and cast speed of any amount is going to be a good boost. So these are a bit more expensive. So I'd be a bit more careful buying one of these. Get one that you're going to be able to keep for a while. Don't just buy it for a couple of levels. And I'll just show us the Sacrosanctum armor, because this is one of the main pieces. That's going to be about 4 or 5 exalts to buy. So you can get cheaper rares if you really want to keep the build like less than a div or less than half a div. It is possible. That's what I was running with a couple of days ago. But now my gear's worth about 2 divs, so just that little bit extra really helped. And the last thing about the items and the filter I'll say is when we look for an amulet, it can be quite hard to find what we want, but I found that a +2 level minimum and a 15% recoup is just about enough, because when we add 20% onto life, we need at least 15 to get the +3. If we have 14 or less, we'll only get +2. So 15 is like the break point for recoup, and that's what we want to try and aim for. So now we've gone over all of the options, I would like to just go over some of the core mechanics of the build, of Recoup, how it's interacting with Infernal Flame, and how we take advantage of it to get obscene amounts of recovery on a very, very small budget. So it's all going to start with the Infernalist. We need to be a witch for this. And the main skills that are going to give us the recovery are Pyromantic Pact and Bringer of Flame. So these two together will give us all of the recovery and all of the damage that we need. Obviously we have Demon Form as well that has no maximum. That's also going to give us a very impressive damage bonus. We can see 3% more damage per flame, and at the start with the Arbiter, I think I was about 160 when he spawned. So, you know, it was like about a few minutes, but that was my first Arbiter kill. I'll probably only do him once or twice more just as an Uber version, and I probably won't be running him that much, but the times that I do and I'm under geared, I can do it very easily with this. When I get better gear, I won't need to wait for 2 or 3 minutes. I can just go within 10 seconds, like I was showing in the last league with both the Tech Rod and the Recoup version. So that's going to be Demon. Quite straightforward, really. We lose life per second, and we get a bit of cast speed and damage. So the main mechanic is going to be Pyromantic Pact. And the way this works is all of our mana is converted into flame. So when we cast a spell, we're going to see lava appear. That's the flame. And ideally, we want to fill it up as quick as possible. We don't want it to fill up slowly, because every time it fills up, we take damage. And every time we take damage, we get more recoup. We get life and energy shield recoup for that. So you can see the more I cast it, the more it'll go up. We'll wait for it to cap out, and you'll know when it's capped out because it'll just flicker between 2 numbers. So 37 and 40 is where we sit. And now if we use the flask, which is number 1 for me, we're going to see that it does go up slightly. That's, you know, substantial amount. That's like 15% almost. But we will need to keep pressing the flask to keep that active. So I only normally do it at the start of the map or just before a boss, and that is normally enough for me. So like we said with the trade filters, maximum mana is very bad because it's going to be doubled here. I don't think I have any on at the minute, which we shouldn't do because we don't want it. But I'll just see if I can find an item with mana, and then you'll see the double effect of it. So we've got 49 mana on the Scepter, and we've got 732. So this is going to go up by just under 100 when I do this. And we can see now we're at 824. So it's not increasing by 49, but it is actually being doubled. So mana on gear is a big no. We can't have it. The other way that we scale Recoup is with more energy shield, because if we go back to the skill, it says that we take life and energy shield. So it's saying that these two numbers added up, for me it's 1,500 and 5,300. These get added together and we take that much damage as fire. But luckily, our fire resistance can reduce it. So if you're just starting out, you can get away with low resistances normally. But if you're playing this, then you need maximum fire resistance, because all the damage we're taking is going to be fire. We can also get maximum fire resistance as a socket in the glove. We can also get it as an anointment or on a megalomaniac. So there's a few we can get. There's going to be molten carapace, which is just on the left side. One just above it called hide of the bear. We'll get another 1%. And there's one just at the bottom, which is usually the most expensive, unnatural resilience. So we can get a 5 from the tree and another 1 from the glove. So we can get to about 81%, and this, funnily enough, is the break point we want to get to just push ourselves over the safety line. So if we only have 80% fire resistance, we're going to take 20% damage, which means 5 hits is 100%. We can only survive 5 hits in a vacuum. When we lower it to 19%, we actually can survive 6 hits in a vacuum. So we do get an extra bit of safety from having the maximum fire resistance. It does lower the recoup amount, but because we trigger spells that much, it really doesn't matter, and it is a lot safer to do it that way. Another thing that I will mention is normally when we've played Recoup, as you can see, we spend the flame and it damages our shield. So we have life and energy shield recovery, but only our energy shield is taking any real damage. So this number is quite low. You know, if I go into demon form, it goes up. You know, I'm not buffing or anything, it's just a mechanical demonstration. And the main thing I want to point out is that all of this energy shield recovery is counteracting the flame. So we need that for that. This life recovery is only sustaining demon form, but most of the time we have way more recovery than we need for life. So what we can do instead, as I just flashed it, is we can put life tap into the trigger gem. Now I don't recommend to do this in lightning warp, because when we cast we still want to use flame for that. But when we start triggering, even in this patch, we trigger so much that we can just kill ourselves if this is unsustainable for flame. If we generate too much flame, we'll just die. You know, you can see there, I get close, but my stats are balanced that I can't actually kill myself from starting a loop, which ideally you would want to test before you start mapping. Just make sure you can stand in your hideout, spam your spells for about 8 seconds, and you're good to go. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. It's only a short one, but it's just a little update I wanted to share. So thank you very much if you stuck around this long, and I hope I'll see you in the stream sometime when I'm live. So take care, everyone. Hope you all have a lovely day. I'll see you again.